Hello, hello, hello. You're right, babes. Today we have a very special episode of Commander Free for All. So we have the Eurovision Song Contest theme. If you're not familiar with Eurovision Song Contest, to very briefly summarise, it's a song contest that features countries from all across Europe. Pretty simple. So it was cancelled last year, unfortunately because of COVID stuff. Boo. But it's back with a vengeance this year, and let me just say, it was pretty savage and interesting to watch. Oh, and looks like France is here already. So, France being Braid's Conjurer Adept, in terms of threat assessment, I know that Braid is quite an interesting commander. She can be sort of group hug in the way that she does help everybody and not just the controller, but traditionally when she's in the helm, the idea is that they will want to get better value out of it than you, so we can expect some big fat creatures from that Braids player, I'm sure. Maybe even giant Eldrazi or Sphinxes, perhaps. We'll see. Or, a Blightsteel Colossus, which just so happens to actually not be the Braids, but the Memnarchs. Speaking of Memnarch, he's representing the UK in this episode. And, technically another mono blue player, fun. And seems to have a sort of obvious focus of trying to steal your stuff. Has to make them artifacts first if they're not artifacts already. But, yeah. Basilisk Monolith, if I said that right, also seems to typically be a bit of a combo enabling card for things like infinite mana. So very happy to have my Return to Dust in hand, ready to potentially deal with that. Mind's Dilation really can be a problem card though, so we do have to keep an eye on that. Oh, and thankfully the Star of Extinction is going to the graveyard. And now we have Italy, represented by Jared Cathalian True Air. Also, shout out to the player. Onslow is the name on MTGO, but they're a really close good friend of mine in real life, so it was really nice to finally play with a friend. Sometimes I know my fire burns low. Memnarch there, representing the UK. So as you can see, we've already had France, Italy and the UK enter the battlefield, and all with very distinct styles. But anyway, less Eurovision, more magic. So we're going to path the Blightsteel Colossus here. Even though it's not attacking us, it's just the most effective use of our mana, and that thing is just terrifying, honestly. To be able to exile it is just kind of a huge relief. I don't really want to have to wait to deal with it when they could, get some kind of protection for it. Mind's Dilation can be very nasty too, so ideally we do want to get rid of that. I'm thinking we'll Return to Dust, Mind's Dilation and Basilisk Monolith, because I think that that's kind of a potential combo enabler. And let's be honest, if you're mono blue, probably you're trying to do infinite mana combo type stuff. So better to deal with it now, honestly. Anyway, Mask of Memory doing some great work here for us with card draw. And honestly, I love Angel Invention in this deck. It does so much work.
Aw, thanks for inviting me over.
No! God, please, no! No!
Oh, fuck. Akroma is honestly so good in our deck, and it sucks to lose her to the Mind's Dilation, but that's exactly why we needed to get rid of it now. Unfortunately for us though, they really did just get a bomb of a card there. It won't be as effective for them though, fortunately. That's the silver lining. Oh, and the Geode Ranger, I think it's called, is really quite a cool card from Zendikar Rising, I believe. It seems to goad players every time you play a land, which in Commander is very strong. So also, to talk about Jared, because I think I didn't get round to that, Jared can be incredibly scary and powerful. He's got interesting synergies with various damage-based board wipes where he can just get huge, and being in Naya colours, he's got all kinds of chances to have things like trample and double strike and just kill you out of nowhere with commander damage. So as much as we love and adore Jared, we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on him a little bit too. But for the time being, I am kind of worried about the mono blue players, most of all, I think. If you never saw the OG Teen Titans cartoon, you're probably younger than me or just unfortunate. But either way, sorry. So we had our little Frost Titan there having his moment. And this player has been goaded by our cheeky friend Jared over there. So they actually are swinging practically everything at us. I think they did swing a little bit at the Memnarch as well. But to be fair, we have messed with Braid's permanence a bit, and yeah, some clapback is understandable. But as you can see, this Braids is doing really well, and the fact that the Monarchy is a factor right now with their Keeper of Keys is pretty scary. If they get some infect creatures of their own, that could be bye-bye to us very fast. So we've got to watch out for that.
Fucking shut up! Thank you.
Oh my god, I love that moment. It was actually a skit, but so many people thought it was real because of how well done it was that Kat Deely, who was the one that was telling the audience to fucking shut up, she got a bit of backlash in the moment for a minute, and then people realised how stupid they were, that it was just a skit. Anyway.
And the United Kingdom gets 0 points.
Through sheer brute force, Memnarch has already been knocked out on turn 5 by Gerard. Not strictly from commander damage, but just through brute force. And I mean, they kind of had a little grudge match going on because Memnarch put a kind of marker, a target on his back by targeting Jared with Memnarch's ability, making him an artifact, which, you know, made it very obvious that he was going to try and steal Jared on his next turn, I suppose. I'm not quite sure why the Memnarch player didn't just wait, because he can do that on anyone's turn, and then it wouldn't left it sort of up in the air as to if Jared needed to worry about him or not. But anyway, such is life. So possibly one of the worst things that can happen to many commanders, but especially Voltron commanders, is being imprisoned in the moon. A very nice removal card played by Braids there. But we're going to do some house cleaning and use one of my favourite board wipes that comes up quite a lot on MTGO, Dusk and Dawn, keeping our beloved Angel of Invention. Honestly, it's so good in this deck. Like, flying, vigilance, lifelink, and an anthem all on one creature. And then obviously with Odric you're going to be slotting all of those keywords around everywhere. So very, very nice. Anyway, we had a search for glory there, and with a Ketra in hand and Odric on the horizon, I wasn't really sure what to go for because a lot of the legendary creatures are a bit mana intensive anyway. So I just decided to go for Mangara because I just thought he's on the cheaper side of some of those legendary options, and he will enable us some card draw to help try and refill our hand a bit. But anyway, Jared over here getting down some Monarch relevant creature with the ability to block more than one when its controller has Monarch. Nice. And a beloved Mother of Runes. Love that card. Very good. Braids coming back. And Mirage Mirror. Oh, and they did play Heuristic Study as well. I'd never seen that artwork before, but it's quite nice. So, yeah. Mirage Mirror is a very nice card, and even better when you can use it to copy Heuristic Study for double study time. Yeah, that's pretty tasty. So yeah, we still are going a bit slow though, but we do have a lot of lands down, which is great. We are going to get the Thundering Chariot out for free, thanks to Braids. And drawing a Bastion Protector is pretty nice.
We've been together for a decade now.
So, for those of you that know the outcome of the 2021 Eurovision Song Contest, the country that won is actually in this game. So, you'll have to find out for yourself if that's a spoiler or if I'm going to be trying to rewrite history here. Wait and find out. But anyway, we're able to get down Odric. We've got a Ketra, we've got a Thundering Chariot. This is all the kind of stuff we need to start going ham on our opponents. And Double Strike with Mask of Memory is just so good. It's like, let's go through our deck and let's get what we need and just speed up the game for us. So very, very nice. Thundering Chariot is definitely getting on my radar to being underrated as a haste enabler in Odric. To be fair, I'm sure there are going to be moments where I don't have a creature to sort of crew it, or you just draw it at the wrong time. But an alternative that I was running in my paper version was Sword of Vengeance, which is 3 mana to play, and I believe it's 3 to equip as well. And it does give a 2+ power, and then 4 keywords. I believe it's Haste, Vigilance, First Strike, Trample. So that's obviously nice with Odric. But the mana is kind of high, like having to keep paying 3 each time can be difficult, whereas all we have to do for the Thundering Chariot is tap a creature with minimum 1 power. So arguably that could be better. I'm still just trying to work out myself what is the superior option. And we're going to see pretty soon actually why the Chariot might take the edge over the Sword. But anyway, we're playing the Windswept Heath here, just putting a Black Blade Reforged under there. Very handy for our Voltron option to try and kill people that way. Bastion Protector for some extra protection, as if there is some kind of a board wipe, destroy or damage based, Odric will definitely survive then, as well as a Ketra, even outside of combat and second main, because Bastion gives Odric indestructible all the time. Very nice. So we are pretty much swinging all in here to try and kill Braids, and they do have untapped blue mana, which was very scary, but fortunately it wasn't like an Aether Rise or a Cyclonic Rift, which is exactly why we wanted to kill them now.
Merci beaucoup. Oui, oui, baguette. Bisous. KO.
Also, worth mentioning, I've left the chat up on the right here because I was having problems using the replay function on MTGO. The videos kept getting corrupted, and I was afraid that that was going to happen again for this game. So I recorded it, like screen recorded it myself rather than trying to use the replay function. And lo and behold, when I went back to the replay function, it did crash. So it was very fortunate that I did record it myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't have had this content, and that would have been really annoying because I think it was a pretty cool game. But yeah, I did leave the chat up, and I've done things like remove the dead players, which I think is a better thing to do going forward. However, let me know if you find leaving the chat up distracting. We didn't actually start talking much until after Memnarch died. Sorry, dude. I just kind of forgot about it at the beginning to even try and politic much. Anywho, as you could have seen, and I'm so all over the place with my narrating this episode, I feel. But we were able to knock out the braids, sorry to them. And now it's a 1v1 situation. Of course, here is where Thundering Chariot was very relevant again. Thanks to Mother being able to give Jared protection from white, that could have been protection from basically our entire army. But having Thundering Chariot become a artifact creature when it's crewed enabled us to block. So yeah, definitely a sort of factor to consider with deck building a mono-coloured deck. If somebody is able to give their creature protection from your colour, that can be very dangerous. Especially a Voltron commander like Jared. Like if he had had double strike or something there, our opponent could have literally killed us out of the blue, and that would have just been devastating. But anyway, we're fortunate here that we are able to swing with all of these creatures, with flying and all of the other good stuff. We've got like an insane amount of keywords here. I think we have flying, vigilance, lifelink, double strike, haste, trample, so on, so on, so on. But safe to say we are lucky to close out the game here. And yeah, thank you to my opponents. This was a fun one, quite crazy.
How does it keep getting better?
Thank you so much for watching if you made it all this way. I hope you guys enjoyed this special Eurovision themed episode. It wasn't planned, but I'll say now that Iceland was my favourite entry this year, and their song last year as well was incredible that they weren't unfortunately able to use because of COVID. So I was happy to rewrite history here and have Odric / Iceland win, but in the actual show they came like 4th and Italy won. France came like 2nd, I think, and UK got 0-0 from the public and jury. Anyway, post-game analysis. So I do think that all three of our opponents were quite threatening in their own right. With Jared in particular, it's a kind of Voltron strategy. He had Guilty Conscience at one point, which I didn't address in the video, sorry about that. But Guilty Conscience is great on him. He'll just get insanely huge. And it would have stayed on for longer, but unfortunately with a Chroma's will, it caused the enchantment to fall off. But it was a necessary use of the spell at the time to kind of knock out Memnarch. Braids had a pretty decent showing, I think. Unfortunately, they didn't have an answer to my attack at the end, which was a big relief for me, honestly. But yeah, copying the heuristic study, drawing tons of cards seemed pretty good, and they put some nice creatures down as well. Memnarch didn't get to do as much as I'm sure they would have liked, but I think that they proved just how scary they were to be needed to be knocked out so early. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you're not already, and let me know what you thought of the episode. See you soon for another one. Thank you, bye.